The aspects of aging is the way that I refer to those common issues, those general topics that are just the broad spectrum of things that change, their meaning changes in your life as you enter the third of your life. In the first episode of this 18-part series, I only talked about the reason why I began to write the Pre-Act Your Age journal, the 52 aspects of aging that are what you will see either in your own life or in someone else's life. And I only spoke about one aspect of aging, and that was the Ebenezer effect. I asked you a question, and it was about Ebenezer Scrooge, the character in the book A Christmas Carol, written by Charles Dickens. I mentioned Bob Cratchit, his employee, but I also mentioned his nephew. Do you remember his name? Ebenezer Scrooge had a sister, and the sister's son always invited him to the holidays, to the gatherings, to be with other people and to enjoy being together with others. His name was Fred. Today, I'm also talking about aspects of aging, but I'm going to go through 3 of them very quickly. I'll start with groups and gatherings. Perfect. It segued from our first time together. The groups and gatherings are becoming more difficult as you age. There are more challenges, there are more worries, there are more items that you have to bring along because you need your specific medication. You need your specific non-prescription assistive devices. You have so many different things that you need to take into account before you even approach a gathering that you used to just grab your bag, your purse, your extra items, maybe just a credit card, and off you would go to these gatherings, probably a jacket in case it got cold. Now it's a discussion about things that you don't want to discuss because you are aging, because you are starting to worry about how much dignity you're going to lose if everyone wants you to get up onto the bleachers so that you can see over the team and watch the game. But getting up on the bleachers, getting back down again is either painful, very difficult, and requires assistance, or you are just afraid that that is the day you're going to fall. And so you might be reluctant to go. That isn't happening to you right now, but in the prompted journal pages, you are asked to project yourself into your own distant future where you will have emotional considerations, emotional reactions to something that just used to be, do you want to come? Do you have time? We'll see if you can make it. Now it's a matter of who's going to drive me there and who has to leave early when I need to leave early. I can't really get into the conversations like I used to. I can't hear what the waitress is saying that has changed on the menu. I don't have the energy to put up with all the energy going on around me. I'm feeling like a burden. So groups and gatherings become a different negotiation, a different navigation. The next aspect of aging I would like to bring up is leaders, readers, needers, seeders. So LRNS. Think of it as the acronym LEARNS. These people are all around you and include you. You are, again, in your own distant future. You are elderly. You are celebrating birthdays that a lot of people never celebrate. So you are somewhere in your advanced age. And all around you, including yourself, are people who are taking on roles they never had to take on before because you were so autonomous. You were so independent. So now you have the leaders, and they are learning when to let you lead, when they need to take the lead. There are readers. Those are the people that research, that look up. They literally get books and try to figure out what would be best right now for you. Perhaps you are the reader. Maybe you have done a lot of research to find out what would be best for you in this age. And this covers everything: medical, financial, legal, emotional, relational, psychological, fitness. You're just funerals, everything. Your advance directive. You have researched this, or someone else is doing it for you. We have the needers. It doesn't sound good to people who are used to being in charge. They don't want to be the needer, or they don't want to deal with, or they don't want to hear, they don't want to know that someone who is maybe much younger than they are, or maybe has always been their go-to, their rock, is suddenly now the needer, the one who must have help in some way. Then there's the seeders. You could go two different directions with those. Maybe it's a seed fund. This is the person who's just popping in the money, who's just going, you know what, just let me buy those new hearing aids. Let me just pay for that lawn service that you need. Just let me cover that. Hey, you need Wi-Fi, so just let me cover all the bills for everything electronically coming in and out of your house. Just let me cover that. And that can be wonderful. And that could also be embarrassing, something that you don't want someone else to take over because you're the one who is advancing in age. And again, you don't want to seem like a needer, or you don't know how to say, I need this. This would be better for you and I for this to be provided for me. They could also be the seeders that are, well, like me, always coming up with the new ideas. They're always dropping in these seeds of, how about if we do this? Let's take Dad on a cruise because he's never been on a cruise. And that would be so nice for him. We'll be okay. We'll just, make sure someone's always hanging on to his walker, and, he'll be okay. And we'll have a great time. And everyone's like, oh, what a project. Oh my goodness. Do we even want to approach this? You never know when your best idea is going to come up. So you just keep throwing out a whole bunch of them, just like scattering seeds in the garden. We'll see where all the vegetables grow up. But some of them are great ideas, something that everyone else wouldn't think about because they are the leaders and the readers, and they are needers, and they're not thinking about, let's grab a moment and make this fantastic. But the seeders can also be the one who doesn't think about all the details and all of the logistics that goes into it. So they are all learning as you are aging, as well as you. LRNS, learns. I think the last thing that I want to bring up is too young to be forgotten. Right now, I have this hairstyle. I have this hair color. You right now may have a full beard, no mustache, no facial hair. you are going to look different in your future. I am going to look different even in my near future. I might get a different hairstyle. So now is the time to say, I love you before one of the people involved in your life forgets. They forget to say, I love you, because it's not the way that you guys have always related to each other. They forget to say, I love you, because they have forgotten who you are, or you have forgotten who they are. They have forgotten to say, I love you, because they can't remember why they're supposed to say that. Why, what circumstances is that appropriate? So immediately you're probably thinking dementia, but it can be a lot of other things. There could be a traumatic head injury. There could be a surgery that impacted a person. There could be even one of your family members who has gone deep into substance abuse and just needs a reassurance. So, how do you handle all that? Well, this comes from my experience as a caregiver with a loved one with dementia who did not recognize their loved ones because the memory was only way in the past. So either they had never been born yet, or the ones that they did know did not look the same. Their hairstyle was now being bald. Their hair color had changed. Their facial hair was different. And this person's family caregiver just needed to be able to get in and out of the shower without their loved one living with dementia heading out the door looking for them, because short-term memory was gone. They didn't remember that their loved one would be back in the room in just a few minutes, or even how to tell time. Something that is a solution is filming yourself right now, the way that you look, the way that you are, in the place that you are, even with something that's important to you and your loved one, whoever that may be. It could be your child, it could be your sibling, it could be your spouse, it could be your own parent who is living clear into the 100s. So, filming yourself and using that as a wonderful world for them to enter so that you can get the cooking done, so that you can take care of your own needs, so that you can just have a break from the constant questions and the repeated requests and the anxiety that's coming out of their world, which is very real, but it isn't part of the world around them. So they get to see you, and you get to interact with them in a way that you would with someone who maybe is just coming out of anesthetics. And the first thing you do not say to them is a bunch of questions. And what about this? And should I pick something up at the store? And, can you tell me about the 5 different reasons why, you let them come up out of their anesthesia and you give them something calm to listen to. So now that we're coming to the close of this, the second in a series of 18 different times for us to go through all 52 aspects of aging, general ones, I'm going to ask you, who is that American TV star that I watched as a child, that my children watched in replay and repeats as children? Who is that American star that was portrayed by Tom Hanks who was a master at being in the moment and being able to look into the camera and to be able to say to someone, I enjoy sharing this time with you. You are so important to me. I want to show you something that I am working on. Look at this. I would love to tell you more about this project that I'm working on. There's no plot, there's no questions to answer. Who was that famous American TV star who was a master of looking into the camera and speaking to just that one child and engaging them? Just as you would engage someone with dementia, you would engage someone coming out of anesthesia from a surgery, and just speaking in reassuring tones and smiling and caring about them. So I want to remind you, we went through 3 aspects of aging. Today, we're going to, on our next episode, we are going to go through too old to care for someone that young. It's an aspect of aging. Ruts, routines, and favorites. That's another aspect of aging. And increased occurrences of medical emergencies. The next time I see you, you're going to try to have the answer to who is that American TV person who was so good at talking in reassuring tones when I was a child. You can guess the years. I am Christine A. Smith. I'm the host of the Aging Better Network.com, where you can find all sorts of resources for pre-acting your age. I am the founder of the process of prompted journaling to pre-act your age. I'm a volunteer. I've worked with aging people as sing-alongs, as tea parties, as craft times, and even doing seated exercises and engaging with them in conversations that keep those synapses going and problem solving and challenging and creating. And I am the aging enthusiast.